happen, and I won't let it slide. It's not the first time Justin will do such and cheap tricks with poking eyes like those. His fight against Paddy will be his last. And UFC is only for the real fighters, not the cheater.
Were you surprised by Paddy's game plan?
I didn't understand his game plan even. He wanted to box with Gaethje, but he couldn't wrestle him, he couldn't box him. He just a little bit young and he has a better chin, but he's a trash can.
Just curious, what did you think about Paddy's chin? Because a lot of people say Justin Gaethje is the hardest hitter they've ever faced.
Yeah, but Paddy got knocked out like 15, 20 times. Yeah, Justin was like 3 or 4 years ago, he was different. Now it's like he's getting old and it's last a couple of fights he got.
Paddy's heart, the grit of this kid. I don't care that he lost the fight. He comes back and murders like most guys.
Yeah.
Like anyone that doesn't have the grit. Like obviously everyone, like myself and everybody else, is worried about how much a fight like this takes out of you. But he's super young.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I think he's young enough to bounce back from a fight like this and to turn it into a superpower moving forward. Because not many people survive Gaethje the way he does, the way he did, or like have moments of greatness late in the fight after taking the hits that he took.
That Scalzer does not get knocked out. Oh my God.
I just felt like I did enough. I just felt like I did enough to get the job done. Paddy is getting the beat out of him right now. It looks like, Jesus, this might not end well.
It was almost like he understood the assignment. We're on Paramount. There's a new network. There are going to be new fans. We need to introduce them to what the UFC is. I think after watching that, everybody that was tuned in are going to be lifelong fans of the UFC. Because on this special night, there is not a sport in the world that can compare to the UFC, and tonight we have one of those special nights.
So, after all the chaos and madness finally settled down, the conversation completely shifted directions. Nobody's talking about predictions or potential outcomes anymore. Instead, everyone's diving deep into exactly what went down inside that cage.
You were saying stuff like, well, his entrance is good and it's all well and good to get the fans, but he needs to be able to fight. Obviously, we've seen him have great wins before, but to show the durability he had in that fight tonight, do you feel like even though he lost, he will be considered one of the best in that division moving forward?
No doubt about it. I mean, he was the favorite tonight. I think that's what fucked him. Every other one, he's the underdog and everybody thinks he's going to lose. Tonight he's the favorite. I don't think that his game plan was the greatest. Obviously, tonight he showed he is tough, he is durable, and almost impossible. I mean, especially against Gaethje. And you're eating those punches from him. You know, it's one thing to say, listen, I'm going to come out. I believe in, say, you know what? It's the third round. I got 2 rounds left. I might want to try to take him down.
Right before the initial blow, leading up to fight night, fans and analysts were completely divided, which made the whole thing electric. One side was convinced that Paddy's relentless pressure and signature wild pace would completely overwhelm Gaethje and dictate the entire fight. But just as many people believe that Justin's legendary composure, along with his surgical precision and devastating power, would be the deciding factor. What's fascinating is that this exact same split in expectations actually mirrored how the fight unfolded step by step. It shaped how everyone watched and analyzed what was happening live, making every moment feel deeply personal.
Gaethje, what an unbelievable performance. Paddy the Paddy, oh my God, he impressed the hell out of me. Incredible, he'll learn from that, but I tell you what, he's got what you can't teach. Heart, grit, determination, all that shit. Yeah, he can make tweaks. You can put the chin down, you can lift the hands up. What he showed tonight is that he is legit. The man is real, and that's for damn sure. He's at the hospital right now. He'll be fine, they're just checking him out.
Before a single strike landed, respected coach Tim Welch broke down this fascinating matchup. He immediately zeroed in on Justin Gaethje's surgical ability to inflict serious damage early in fights, particularly highlighting those brutal calf kicks. Those strikes that don't look flashy or spectacular, right? They're not your typical highlight reel head kicks, but trust me, they're systematically designed to erode and eventually destroy an opponent's base. Think about it. When those shots start landing, they don't just cause pain, they completely disrupt your balance. They mess with your stance. They severely limit your movement. And once that foundation starts crumbling, everything changes. Your timing gets thrown off. Your reactions become slow and stiff. And suddenly those lightning fast exchanges become much more predictable for someone like Gaethje. In that kind of compromised fight, Justin's naturally devastating striking power becomes exponentially more dangerous because opponents simply cannot move, pivot, or escape like they need to.
Very, very good at grappling, and I felt that he deviated from the game plan, meaning that if I was in his corner, you're gonna move. One, he's got to keep his hands up here. I like the traditional look where you can move, you can elbow, you throw your right hand, right, left, high kick, push kick. You're just way more. This is standard. This is like the best option. But I still feel like he deviated from the game plan where I think he felt that he was going to be able to knock out Justin Gaethje, and I just don't think Paddy Pimblett has that torque. Not saying he can't do it, I just don't think he has the torque to knock out a guy like Justin Gaethje, who's been in wars with guys like Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Max Holloway's knocked him out. He's knocked out Dustin Poirier. He's been in wars with Eddie Alvarez. He's just been in a lot of wars on the feet. But when you look at some of the things that, Khabib did to Justin Gaethje, he made it look easy. He took him down, past his guard, mount.
Here's where things get really dangerous though. The moments that put Paddy Pimblett in the most serious trouble typically came during his explosive forward rushes. When Paddy would launch into those signature blitzes with all that intensity and aggression, his head movement would sometimes lag just a beat behind his offensive output. And let me tell you, against a precision striker like Justin Gaethje, even a fraction of a second can mean the difference between landing a shot and getting knocked out cold. That slight lapse in his defensive positioning basically left his chin exposed, sitting right there for Gaethje to target during those wild exchanges. From Tim's analytical standpoint, it was a brutally simple equation, just one perfectly timed, absolutely devastating counter shot from Justin, and the entire fight could instantly. The danger in those moments was about as high as it gets.
Aspect to this entire game plan, okay? Gaethje was going to pressure fight him, walking down, guns blazing, turn it into a dogfight, and hopefully he outlasts Paddy, okay? This whole game plan is banking on the fact that he knows he can take more, he can deal more, and he can capitalize on it later in the fight. Okay, because and to be fair, he's got legs to walk with that because he's done it time and time again. And round 3, we saw him be like, okay, I'm gonna take this round off.
I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna stay at mid range. I'm not gonna walk you down and just let you come back a little bit. Try to build some energy. and everyone was worried. Like honestly, I saw like a glint of disinterest from Gaethje. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it was weird. But then round 4 just puts his foot back on the pedal, maybe knowing he's got 2 rounds left. Bar fight Gaethje. It was Gaethje of old.
Here's what's fascinating though. Despite that constant looming threat of a fight-ending shot hanging over almost every exchange, Tim Welch never once characterized this fight as simply a striker versus grappler matchup. And you know what? He's absolutely right. As rounds wear on, especially at the elite level, those neat game plans tend to fall apart, and fights like this almost always devolve into this beautifully chaotic, unpredictable mayhem. We're talking frantic scrambles on the ground, grinding clinch work against the fence, and these incredibly messy, exhausting transitions that can dictate the entire pace of the fight. And here's the thing, those chaotic scramble-heavy moments are exactly where Paddy Pimblett has historically done his best work. He has this incredible ability to drag opponents into these grueling, demanding sequences that can completely flip the momentum. He might look hurt, he could appear rattled for a second, but then suddenly, through sheer will and relentless pressure, he creates an opportunity to take control and totally turn things around. It's genuinely incredible to watch.
don't want to look like a loser right now, but everyone saw I was better than Justin that fight, but the UFC wanted him to win. The lad smashed my eye with his finger. I had to play all of the rounds with a broken eye, which is not fair.
You saw him do it to Michael Chandler. He's taken on the highlight, Justin Gaethje. 26 wins, 5 losses, 20 KOs. The dude fucking KOs people. Early on, he'd calf kick the fuck out of people. He'd calf kick people where they couldn't take it anymore. He had many TKOs from calf kicks alone. The guy is just a dense fucking ball of muscle, built for fighting, 37 years old now. He's crumpled people with his left hook. He's crumpled people with his right hand. Paddy Pimblett is going to have to be very careful throwing his flurries on Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje will sit down and rip a left hook, or sit down, drop his head, and launch a right hand. That's Justin Gaethje's ways to win. He could KO Pat.
This unpredictable, chaotic environment is exactly why Tim Welts ultimately called the fight as close as possible. We're talking about a situation where one perfectly placed shot, one perfectly timed strike could instantly change the entire trajectory of the fight in seconds. The stakes remained that elevated throughout. Despite all that danger constantly present, Welts actually leaned slightly toward Paddy, which is interesting. His reasoning came from believing that across all possible scenarios, all the different ways this fight could unfold, Paddy would find his path to victory more often than not. What's really telling about this breakdown though is that he acknowledged none of those paths for Paddy felt safe or straightforward, or remotely predictable. It would always be a dangerous, precarious journey, but one where Paddy's unique skill set gave him a slight edge in the sheer number of routes to victory.
Justin Gaethje with the title around his waist, he earned it. Justin Gaethje's fought all these fucking monsters his whole goddamn career. Edson Barbosa, Donald Cerrone, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Khabib, Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, Fiziev twice, Dustin Poirier again, Max Holloway. Like, holy shit, he's fought the elite. So I'd love to see Justin Gaethje get it done. If I had to put, fuck, this is hard. If someone gave me $10,000 to bet with, and they said, hey, put it on who you think's going to win, I'm going to say 60-40. 60-40. 40% chance that Justin Gaethje knocks Paddy Pimblett out. Hits him on his chin. When Paddy Pimblett's flirting, hits him right on his fucking, hits him right on the scouser chin. Boom. Gets dropped. 40% chance, I think. 60% chance this fight, Justin's not able to find him. It's a little bit, it's like a spastic, weird style. He's not able to find his chin. If Paddy Pimblett puts him on his back, it's going to be a long night for Justin.
And with every strike thrown, every technique attempted, the expert opinions remained completely split down the middle. It was like watching two totally different philosophies of fighting clash. One side firmly believed that Paddy Pimblett's wild, unconventional movement, combined with his deeply ingrained grappling instincts, would drown Justin Gaethje in this overwhelming wave of chaos. They thought Paddy could force Gaethje into uncomfortable positions for extended, difficult stretches, pulling him away from his comfort zone. But the other side put all their faith in Justin's legendary composure, his fight-finishing power, and his surgical precision. Their thinking was that Gaethje would consistently make Paddy pay heavily for every reckless advance, for every sloppy exchange. This fundamental disagreement in perspective made the actual fight something truly special, where literally every single exchange felt like it carried the weight of potentially rewriting the entire narrative. The tension in the arena among the commentators and with the audience fluctuated dramatically because neither fighter allowed the other to settle into anything resembling a comfortable rhythm.
Will you be served with Pimblett? Maybe. Gaethje, experience, good striker. He's well-rounded everywhere, but he's got to use the assets of a smaller guy. We've seen it, where you got to box, you got to use your legs, you got to set traps. You know, he's got the capability of doing that. Outmaneuver, outflank Pimblett. You know, Pimblett, let me tell you, he has improved a lot over the last 2 years. He really has, bud. He has gotten better. He's gotten more. You could see he's come into his own. Confidence-wise, physically, he's in great shape. They usually all are. But he's improved. His striking has improved. He's a good wrestler, grappler. But he loves to strike. That's what's going to make this fight really interesting and good. They're both going to strike. I mean, for the most part, they're both going to strike.
Looking deeper into Tim Welch's breakdown, he consistently viewed the matchup through the lens of cumulative damage and precise timing, constantly returning to Justin Gaethje's relentless calf kicks and their ability to create crucial early advantages. His core theory was deceptively simple, yet brutally effective in its execution. Early leg damage, which Gaethje specializes in delivering, completely alters the entire dynamics of combat. Why? Because it doesn't just hurt, it fundamentally compromises your entire stance. It severely restricts your lateral movement, and perhaps most importantly, it subtly but significantly changes how you react defensively when you see an attack coming. Welch also strongly emphasized that while Paddy Pimblett's aggressive forward pressure defines his style, it can paradoxically create extremely dangerous opportunities for his opponent. A calculated power striker like Justin, with his incredible timing, really only needs one clean opening to flip the entire fight instantly. However, and this shows the real complexity, Welch readily admitted that as those rounds progressed, the fight would naturally, almost inevitably, drift toward those scrambled exchanges and complete unpredictability, and that's exactly where Paddy's natural confidence, his sharp grappling instincts, and his willingness to be dangerous even off his back could shine through. As Welch ultimately put it, this wasn't a blind gamble without logic or reasoning. It was a calculated risk, a high-stakes chess match where either fighter could be proven right depending entirely on how certain key moments unfolded at the worst possible time for their opponent.
But I would go with the over on this because I think the over-under is like
2.5 rounds.
How many?
2.5 rounds over minus 115.
All right, listen. Again, we have a pretty good record here, but, you know, I mess up once in a while. What are you going to do? That's why it's gambling. But I like the over. I mean, if Gaethje fights the perfect fight, you never know. You never know. But I know who the judges are probably favoring. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. There shouldn't be anything about that. It should just be about what goes on in the cage or in the ring. But I can't help myself but think about things that I see. So maybe, you know, Gaethje would really have to do a job, I think, to get it, which he could. But I think I probably favor Pimblett a little bit. But at the end of the day, if I had to put my bucks down.
Legendary boxing coach and analyst Teddy Atlas approached this entire fight through the eyes of a seasoned strategist, and his insights were absolutely compelling. He strongly emphasized the critical importance for Justin Gaethje to rely on intelligent footwork, smart positioning, and measured discipline, rather than just standing and trading shots toe-to-toe like some kind of bar fight or pride match. Atlas repeatedly hammered home the idea that Gaethje's vast experience only matters if he uses it wisely and, crucially, avoids getting sucked into a wild crowd-pleasing brawl just because the fans are screaming for it. That would be a tactical error, but simultaneously, Atlas gave Paddy Pimblett tremendous, well-deserved credit for just how much he's evolved, both physically and mentally. He described Paddy as significantly stronger, much more composed under pressure, and far more comfortable managing those extended grinding exchanges. Atlas ultimately leaned toward that youthful energy and raw determination, having a unique ability to emerge late in a fight, especially when fatigue really sets in and the quality of crucial decisions starts to decline. From Atlas's veteran perspective, Paddy had much more room to adapt and adjust his game plan progressively through rounds without ever losing his core identity as a fighter or breaking under the immense pressure, and this deep ability to truly evolve, to fluidly absorb punishment both physically and mentally, can make an absolutely massive difference in a bout that goes deep into the championship round.
If he can eat it, I can see Paddy catching Gaethje and maybe almost like a Oliveira fight, you know, catch Gaethje, hurt Gaethje wobble, and then, you know, get to Gaethje's back or something, maybe subtle. You know what I mean? Like, Paddy is very well rounded. You know, he out wrestled wrestlers, he out grappled grapplers. He stands with you. You know, he doesn't care. He throws. You know, everybody be like his chin is in the air. He takes shots. Yeah, he takes shots and he still walks forward. How long will that last? We don't know. And that's the question I have to this fight. Or what his reaction is going to be when Justin Gaethje catches him. If Justin Gaethje punched like a truck,
Meanwhile, Max Holloway, always a direct and insightful analyst, basically boiled down the entire complex matchup to one simple, absolutely brutal and practical question. Could Paddy Pimblett actually survive Justin Gaethje's legendary fight finishing power without completely falling apart? This is a disturbingly simple question, but it cuts straight to the heart of what makes Gaethje such a dangerous opponent. Holloway's expert take was this: if Paddy could show the raw durability and mental toughness to weather that initial storm of strikes, then he absolutely had the natural grappling ability to turn those terrifying disadvantageous moments into superior ground control and sudden momentum swings. And I have to stress, in a fight at this level, those kinds of shifts can completely reverse the entire situation in an instant. Holloway also made it crystal clear that Justin Gaethje, unlike many other fighters, never really needs to throw a high volume of strikes to change a fight's direction. Why? Because every single well-placed punch and every single well-placed kick he lands carries truly devastating fight-altering consequences. It only takes one perfectly timed crushing shot from Gaethje to instantly negate an entire round of hard work and effort before Paddy can even establish any kind of rhythm whatsoever. Finally, the always relentless Marek Gafarov, known for his incredible pace, genuinely saw this entire fight as a true coin flip, a complete 50-50 proposition. He clearly outlined two incredibly brutal, absolutely unforgiving paths for the bout, emphasizing that there was virtually no comfortable middle ground anywhere. The result would be one of two scenarios. Either Justin Gaethje would systematically break down Paddy Pimblett through his steady, persistent, and accumulating damage, constantly wearing him down until Paddy simply couldn't function effectively anymore. Or alternatively, Paddy would somehow survive that early onslaught, weather the storm long enough successfully drag the fight into those chaotic, energy-draining grappling exchanges, where momentum would then slowly but surely shift away from Justin, almost imperceptibly at first, without viewers really noticing the real-time transition. To Marek, the ultimate factor wasn't just skill alone, since both of these elite fighters clearly possessed the tools to win. Instead, it came down entirely to a fighter's raw pain tolerance and their ability to make smart critical decisions under extreme, overwhelming duress. His key observation was this: over potentially 5 grueling rounds, with fatigue and damage inevitably mounting, it's the incredible mental and physical toughness to keep absorbing that constant punishment while still managing to choose the perfect right moment to strike back that ultimately determines who walks away victorious when everything truly counts.